Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Wilmington Wildcats Weekly here on the Christian Internet Sports Network as we get set for football tonight. Week 4 from Peotone High School as the 2-1 Wilmington Wildcats on the road to take on the 2-1 Peotone Blue Devils. Boy, what a beautiful night for football to start off with. Clear skies, 72 degrees. Again, I get down into the mid-60s before the night is over. And again, this is a couple of weeks of just gorgeous temperatures, exactly what you want in the fall for a couple of football teams matching up here in now the ICE conference and trying to get their seasons started off in a positive manner. Both of these teams at 2-1. Of course, the battle is to get to 5 wins, ultimately 6 wins if you really want to be for sure of getting into the playoffs. And it'd be an interesting matchup tonight because I'm not really sure what we have here.
I don't think anybody is.
It's one of those things where as somebody coming in fact, you were asking me on the way over, what do you think of Peotone? I said, I don't know. I mean, based on the first couple of opponents, Sandwich didn't have a team last year, so I don't know what to tell you about that.
So we don't know how good they are.
And last week, the win over Reed Custer, and of course, the loss to Sandwich for Peotone, but again, I don't know how good they are. And last week, the win at Reed Custer by a couple of touchdowns. I don't know how good Reed Custer is this year. I mean, I know how good they were last year, but this is not last year, and they graduated a bunch of seniors. So I guess we'll find out tonight what we have.
Yeah, you said that the Reed Custer graduated 22 seniors. That's a big blow on a team to replace that many guys.
That's a lot of it was something like that. I mean, don't quote me as that being like a magic number or anything or perfect, but I wanted to say it was around 20. It was a lot of seniors, and that was a group that had been together for a long time as well and made a nice run over the last couple of years and, of course, won the conference last year. Wilmington trying to get back in that spot this year, and this starts a string that's going to be really interesting for the Wildcats because you get Peotone on the road, go back home to take on Reed Custer, and again, I think the jury's still out a little bit on that, but Reed Custer at home, and then a couple of weeks later, Coal City on the road. And one thing I will say is when Wilmington gets to the playoffs this year, they have been tested.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder if they had a hard enough schedule to get themselves toughened up for the playoffs. And no question about that this year. Wilmington's got a tough schedule.
And you opened up with Seneca, who's a top 3 team right now in 2A, and that went down to the wire. Then you had Aurora Christian, who's receiving votes, by the way, for top 10 in 1A. So you had that opponent. You're going to get Peotone tonight, who has been a playoff team more often than not. Of course, Reed Custer made a good run last year.
They did.
Coal City has been a playoff team almost every year for the last how many years. So this team, by the end of the year, whether they're in 2A or 3A, will have been tested. And it'll just be kind of interesting to see how all that plays out.
Yeah, because Wilmington, by virtue of their size, barely makes it to the 3A and could easily fall into 2A. So they have to wait to the end to see which way they go. But we're looking forward to a good year, and it's going to be one of those ones that each week is going to be a test.
All right, let's take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll take a look at what was going on last week, get you set for stuff here tonight as well across the area. And a little bit later on in our pregame show, we'll talk to Coach Reintz as well. This is Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. We're back in just a moment.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reintz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Teresa's Family Styling Salon in Wilmington is an all-ages salon that will style your hair for that special look. They offer cuts, perms, and coloring for any fashion. They also carry Paul Mitchell and Brocato products. Teresa's Family Styling Salon is located in the Southgate Plaza in Wilmington, and you can call for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
This is Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Take a look at what happened last week. Let's go over there first. Wilmington, a 49-7 win over Lisle. They were down 7-0 early. Lisle went straight down the field and scored a touchdown, and the Wilmington scored 49 straight points.
And you wondered, what in the world is going on?
That was something. That was a crazy first drive by Lisle, but then the Cats kind of came around defensively. Peotone last week, 41-27 over Reed Custer. Kind of the same story from them. They got down early and then came back and scored a ton of points and get the win over the Comets. A big win for Peotone over Reed Custer last week. Coal City had no problems with Streeter. They won it 55-6. Also, Mantino defeating Herscher last week, 34-33. Some other scores around the area. Woodstock Marion blew out Bishop Mack. Bishop Mack trying to get things turned back around and get a program back going there after having so many years of dominance.
Well, they did.
And then a couple of years kind of having a little bit of a rough go, but trying to get things restarted there. Morris 43-33 over Canelan last week. Aurora Christian, the team that we saw a couple of weeks ago, 27-22 over Chicago Hope. And as I mentioned, Aurora Christian getting votes in 1A as it is. St. Rita 20-10 over JCA last week. Providence beat Fenwick 21-9. Rochelle, okay, so we said Reed Custer going to Johnsburg, losing by 3.
Yeah.
Johnsburg, particularly good football team typically. Rochelle beat them last week 48-0. So that might tell you a little bit about what's going on with Johnsburg, too. Sandwich 27-7 over Plano. Sandwich for taking a year off.
They're flying.
Yeah. Maybe more programs should take a year off and come back. I mean, they look like a good football team this year.
They needed to rest up their bodies a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know either, but that ends up being an interesting one. All right, games going on tonight that we're going to keep an eye on. Coal City at 2-1 will be at 1-2 Lisle. That's going to be a tough go for the Lions, although anything up there at Benedictine is possible.
That's right.
We've seen it. Reed Custer at 1-2 will be at 0-3 Herscher. That could be a problem for Herscher tonight. Mantino at 1-2 will be at 1-2 Streeter. That might actually be a pretty good game between Mantino and Streeter. 2-1 JCA will host Niles Notre Dame, who's also 2-1. Morris at 3-0 will be at 1-2 Woodstock North, and Providence at 2-1 will be at 2-1 St. Lawrence. We'll keep an eye on all that and more tonight. Let's take ourselves another break. We'll come back. We got a little bit of a lengthy interview with Coach Reitz tonight, and we're running out of time to get to it. So we'll go ahead and get there next. We'll do that after this break. You're listening to Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Pro Real Estate is a family-owned business established in 1983. Its staff and sales agents work in all areas of real estate sales, from first-time homebuyers to experienced investors. Located at 506 South Water Street in Wilmington, clients are welcome to stop by to discuss their real estate needs or visit our website at pro-homes.net. For a private consultation, contact us at 815-476-7916. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 40 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com. Or call 815-521-0900. Welcome back here in Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. And again, joined by the head coach of the Wildcats, Mr. Jeff Reitz. And Coach, this last week, I mean, man, you come out, Lisle goes straight down the field, gets a couple of passes, they get up 7-0, and then was it 49 unanswered after that? And the defense kind of made a couple of adjustments, and the offense was rolling
all night. And, we talked a little bit about that on Friday, about getting a bunch of people in and kind of getting some looks.
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, we woke up there the first drive. After the first drive, Loud did some good things against us. Defense buckled down. I thought offensively we were able to keep their offense off the field and run the ball the way we wanted to. And like you said, we got everybody in the game. We were able to get everybody on film, so we were able to teach everybody up, coach them up, and it's been a good week from that standpoint, getting ready for Peotone. But no, really good game for us. Everybody got in, and we were good in all facets of the game.
Specifically special teams, I know we talked about this briefly like in week 1, but special teams this year has been pretty solid, and usually that's the first, second, third week of trying to figure out long snapping or lane duty on kickoffs or things like that. But I've been surprised through 3 weeks that's been really, really solid to start the year.
Yeah, we're lucky to have Jay Castleback snapping for us, and does a really good job. Cade holds for us. Juster couldn't play in last week's game, so Reed Walden came in and did a nice job kicking for us, kicking off, and then making our extra points for us. And so we're hoping to get Juster back soon, kicking, but good to see that we have a little bit of depth there. And like you said, I think Bobby Bolster does a really good job with that part of our game. Our kids take a lot of pride in their special teams. And, we tell the kids, can we win the field position battle? And that always starts with specials. And we spend a lot of time on it, so I'm glad to see that all the work we're putting in is paying off.
And offensively, you talked about it at Catbackers a little bit, about everything looks the same when you're sitting on the sideline and watching play after play after play. But Barry doing a little bit of mix-up things. We talked, too, about fullbacks going in different spots and just kind of little wrinkles here and there that seem to be opening up some things.
No, it really does. And, you get that fullback spot going, but it just makes it tougher to key on Farrell or to key on Castle. Whatever it might be. And, Moran does a good job at fullback. Braden Anderson did a really good job the other night. And I was really happy. Moran had to pick up, Reed being out, Reed Juster at tight end. Did a great job blocking. And Braden was on the right side of the blocking with the yardage. No, Barry does a good job. He, moving the ball inside and outside. And I know from a fan standpoint, it does look like, they just run the same plays. But there is some mix-ups in there. There are some calls that we make to change up things a little bit. And, Barry's going to see what the defense has given us. And with our offense, we're able to adjust to pretty much whatever the defense gives us. Now, does that mean we're going to win, particularly have great success? No. But if our kids know where they're going, that's half the battle, and then we go from there.
Well, now you get a Peotone team, kind of like Lyle, where each and every year you kind of know what you're going to get in the fact that they're big, they like to run the football, but it's also one of those environments where you have to be ready to go when you go in there. And then you look at Peotone's early schedule, and now you have that 2-touchdown win over Reed Custer, and you start going, okay, there's something there, and we need to be really careful.
You're exactly right. Like I said at Catbackers the other night, the quarterback throws for almost 300 in their loss to Sandwich. And then they go down 20-6 to Braidwood, and it would be easy for them to fold their tents up and go home. But they battle back and then win by 2 touchdowns, and they got a running back that runs for almost 300. And they've shown that they can do both. Defensively, I know they struggled a little bit stopping the run against Sandwich, but they did a better job of that against Braidwood. And so, to me, we're playing a typical tough Peotone team. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a fast game, and so you got to make your offensive possessions count. And we talked about field position a little bit ago with specials. That's going to be a big part of the game. And so we're going on the road. It's always a little tougher. When you go to Peotone, you got to be ready for that atmosphere. And, our kids emotionally got to be ready to go. So, I felt after Seneca, we got a little bit better against Aurora Christian. And then I felt we got a little bit better last week against Lyle. Now can we take another step against a good Peotone team?
Does it make a whole lot of difference? I mean, this is just something as a person coming into the stadium and seeing the first couple of weeks of no game going on before you. And then last week you had a game, and then this week I believe there's also that game that's going to happen. Does that change up a lot what you're doing in pregame or getting ready for your game?
A little bit, What it does is when there's a game before ours, we use the whole second half of the first game to talk to the kids, making sure, double checking, dotting our I's, crossing our T's, where if it's just one game, It's like a playoff game, and so what that is, we go out and do specials, and then we come back in, and instead of having a whole half of a Frost South game, you got about 15, 20 minutes to make sure that you're good to go on everything. So if it's only a single game, it just speeds up the process, which is fine, but everybody's used to having that game before, and I really like it. That's the way I grew up too, having a game before the varsity game. So
it's so awkward.
Yeah,
like when you come in and there's nothing, it's just awkward.
And John, I know in the southern part of the state, that's what they all do. They play one game on Friday. They'll play their freshman game either Thursday night or Saturday morning. And if they have a sophomore game, that's on Monday. Mm-hmm. And so everybody does it different. Just for us, we're just so used to having the first game before the varsity, and I really like it. I like having the two games. I think it gets more people there.
It does.
It does, and it's great to see I can watch our younger kids and play before us, and I always like to do that.
And then lastly here, where do you stand injury-wise?
We're getting a little bit better. We made it through last week okay. Cade played one side of the ball. Now he'll be back on both sides. I think Reed Juster, who had to sit out last week, we're hoping he's going to be able to go this week. And then Hunter Opasovich, he's going to be back, I think, starting next week. So hopefully we're okay there. P.D. Rampa banged up his shoulder during practice. I think he's going to be okay, but we'll wait and see on that. And but we're getting healthier and not worse on the injury front. So we survived there a little bit. Hopefully we can keep having good luck from that standpoint.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight. And again, we'll talk to you in the postgame.
All right, partner. We'll see you then.
Coach Jeff Raines joining us here on our Wilmington Wildcats weekly pregame show, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. We're going to take ourselves one more time out. When we come back, we'll get to opening kick here tonight, just about 4.5 minutes away from that. Back in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Warren's Collision Center is now at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. They accept all insurance companies, and as always, customer service is their top priority. Contact Warren's Collision at 815-458-3300, stop by online at warrenscollision.com, or visit in person at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. Warren's Collision Center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Wildcat Self-Storage is a facility providing clean, convenient, and well-maintained storage units. They provide great customer service with competitive rates, and they also have online bookings and payments for your convenience. Wildcat Self-Storage is at 131 School Street in Wilmington, online at wildcatsst.com, and by phone at 815-768-0681. Wildcat Self-Storage is proud to be locally owned. Wilmington Pizzeria is located at 205 East Baltimore Street in Wilmington. They have pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and a full selection of family meal deals. They offer pickup and delivery too. Wilmington Pizzeria is open Monday through Saturday from 10:30 to 9. Call Wilmington Pizzeria at 815-476-7011 or check them out at wilmingtonpizzeria.com.
This is Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. Big thank you to them for sponsoring things each and every week here on the network, and doing so for quite a few years now, and we do appreciate that. As we get set for football tonight here from Peotone, a battle of the 2-1 teams here in the ICE Conference. And I'll tell you this much, Wilmington won the toss, and in very true Wildcat fashion,
Deferred.
And they will get the ball in the second half. We'll send their defense out to get things underway here tonight. And what has ended up being a pretty nice crowd here tonight. The Wilmington fans have shown up in force, and they're all the way around the sideline, into the end zone on either side. There's very little as far as bleacher space for visiting teams here.
Oh, it's small. Yeah, small.
But I will tell you, the crowd is fairly large. Now, for Wilmington, they're just right down the road, so it's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, and Wilmington travels well when they're on visiting surfaces. Their people show up.
So out comes Peotone here tonight. 2-1 team, and they've done a really nice job here over the last 6, 7, 8 years of developing consistently good football teams. Teams that are making the playoffs and trying to build that program up to where every year they're in the playoffs. So
you usually count on a game here. I mean, they come out and play.
That you can. All right, the Cats will be in what might be my favorite combination tonight. The white jerseys, white helmets with purple paw prints and numbers, and the purple pants as well. Peotone will be in their all dark uniforms tonight, blue jerseys, blue pants, and I guess that's dark blue helmets. Can't really tell from here.
It's hard to tell, yeah.
In any case, Peotone will get the ball first here, still about 30 seconds away from opening kick. That gives us just a moment to talk about what has gone on with Peotone this past week. A player that was on Peotone's football team last year and graduated, Alex Cardenas, was tragically killed in a car accident over the past week, and they recognized his family here tonight and had a moment of silence. And, you know, there's just no words for something like that. So just know that us here at the Christian Internet Sports Network and the Wilmington community are thinking about and praying for everyone here at Peotone and for that particular family for sure. As the Cats will get set to kick off tonight. So some things are just bigger than athletics, bigger than football.
Yes.
And involve life situations, and that's what Peotone's dealing with tonight. And that's always tough too, particularly with guys that played with him last year that have to come out here tonight and play a football game and with more on their minds than just this. But the Cats will kick off here, and it will bounce down to the 18-yard line, picked up across the 30 and out to near the 33. Doing the kickoff duties tonight is Reed Walden. For Reed Juster. Now, Reed is playing tonight, though, as he is out there currently. And Peotone will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 33. The Blue Devils going left to right here tonight, led by Ruben Velasco, 6'3", 170-pound junior quarterback. He's got good size. He can throw the football, and you will see Peotone run it a lot tonight as well. And they will run their own version of the double wing. Velasco up under center with one receiver to the near side. And the handoff goes to the fullback. That's Jaden Rodriguez, and he's stacked up in the middle of the line. Nothing doing there. Boy, good job by Joey Allgood stepping up in the gap. It'll be a gain of 2. Bring up 2nd down and 8 for Peotone. Rodriguez, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. Playing that fullback spot tonight. One wingback is Chase Rivera, 6 foot, 175-pound senior. And on the other side is Abelardo Cano, 5'6", 165-pound senior. Again, out of the straight double wing here. And dropping back to pass is Velasco, complete on the near side, out near the 45-yard line. As Juster finally made the tackle. Pass caught by Colin Emsweller. That will be a gain of 10 yards. And a Peotone 1st down. That's a nice looking play.
Very nice. Did that roll out to the right, drew the defenders in, and passed it over their head and dropped it right into the receiver. Nice 10-yard gain. All
right, again, straight up double wing here is the Cats with 5 on that line defensively. This stacked up on the inside. That's going to go nowhere. Bring up 2nd down and 10. That's awfully hard to do in this Wilmington defense. Is Jaden Rodriguez on the carry for no gain. And if there's one thing that Wilmington knows how to defend, it's traditional double wing.
Yeah, they're kind of used to that.
Now, one thing you will get, the wrinkle from Peotone that you don't get a lot from Wilmington, though, is Peotone will pass the football.
And that makes the defense be a little more honest.
10-10 to go opening quarter, no score. Peotone has it 2nd and 10 from their own 45-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side, 2 back to the near. Velasco out of the shotgun with 1 back to his left. Looking right side, fires deep down the near sideline. It is caught. Well, they say incomplete, but Ooh, my goodness. That's one I would like to see an instant replay on, I do believe.
It looked like he came down right on the yard line, right on the out-of-bounds line.
That was close. He tipped it up in the air. It looked like he might have come down with it, but maybe you're right. Maybe it was out of bounds. I don't know. I will tell you this much.
He did finally catch it, yeah.
That ball was on the money, and that would have been problems. All right, so 3rd down and 10. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far. Again, Velasco out of the shotgun here with 1 back to his right. Only 3 down linemen here for Wilmington. They send 4. Velasco over the middle, incomplete, and they're going to have a flag on Cade McCubbin, although I don't really know how that's pass interference, but in any case, it will be. Doesn't matter what I think. Could be a 15-yard penalty and a 1st down here for Peotone.
Yeah, that was kind of a strange call.
I agree with Coach Reitz over here. For what exactly?
For a pass interference against Wilmington. 15-yard penalty will make it Peotone 1st down.
Well, whether or not I think it is or whether or not Coach Reitz thinks it is doesn't make any difference. It's 1st and 10 for Peotone from the Wilmington 40.
That's all that matters.
I'll tell you right now, if the Cats don't get pressure on Velasco, they could be in for a long night.
I agree with that totally, 100%.
Out of the straight double wing here. In motion goes Rivera. Pitch goes left side. Rodriguez getting the corner. He'll get a couple of yards here, maybe 3, and that's about it. The Cats catch up to that pretty quick.
Number 4, Jaden Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez brought down on the far side by Joey Cortez. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Interesting start to this one here tonight. 1 receiver split out to the near side. Double wing, but with that fullback all the way over on the right side. Handoff goes to Rodriguez. That's going to go nowhere. Cortez blew that up back at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
Boy, Joey saw that coming. It'll be a loss of 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. Boy, that's a really nice job by Joey Cortez.
Boy, he filled that up quickly, didn't he? Man. Had 3 other guys coming over there to help him finish him off. Nice job by Joey.
8:25 and counting here in the 1st quarter. Again, up front for the Cats, Pete Rampa, Matt Swisher playing that nose tackle spot again tonight. And Oland on the right side. This pass deep down the right sideline. Is that dropped in the end zone?
Just off his
Wow,
finger.
that was really close to being a touchdown pass.
Pass incomplete.
As
the receiver was number 3,
turning around in the end zone was Chase Rivera. Kind of had to make a weird angle to come up with the football, but the Cats very fortunate on that drive because Peotone had 2 passes that probably should have been completed.
Boy, that was a long ways. He put that, he lofted it way up in the air and let his receiver run right under it.
Now that was a tougher grab there because he had to spin around to try to find it, but now Braden Anderson in there defensively on that defensive end spot. I guess this is special teams. I'm just not used to really. I guess he is on special teams normally. This kick comes down at the 15. Will kick sideways down near the 11-yard line, and that's where Wilmington will start 1st and 10. 7:57 to go here in the opening quarter. No score between Wilmington and Peotone. I will tell you, if you're the Cats defensively, you got some things to think about.
I tell you what, you certainly do. They're not afraid to put that in the air at all. You can do
Nope.
it.
And he can throw the ball a country mile.
That was about a 40-yard toss that time.
All right, so McCubbin will go out there and get things started here for the Cats. Cade, of course, returned last week on the offensive side of the ball. Cats will face 1st and 10. Kyle Farrell to one side and Jake Castle to the other. This is a fumble in the backfield, and McCubbin will fall on it.
Wow.
Back at the 10-yard line. This is
on the play,
sort of an awkward start here tonight for the Cats.
Number 54, Brandon Pluckham on the tackle.
Let's see what Wilmington comes up with here on 2nd and 11. Reed Juster, by the way, back out there at one tight end spot. Joey Cortez to the other side. And Brendan Moran gets the start at fullback tonight, back there from playing tight end last week. This is Cortez, not Cortez, Castle, I believe, off the left side. He'll pick up, let's see, what is that, 6 yards or so, and it'll bring up third down and a long 5, almost 6.
Mm-hmm.
So again, up front from the Cats.
Well, most fumbles like that really hurts a running team.
Yep, they do. Brody Benson, Zach Oland, Andy Dito. Trying to go through those here tonight. Pitch again to Castle off the left side, churning ahead across the 20, still going all the way out near the 24-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 8 yards and a Wildcat self-storage first down.
They just kept on moving that pile. Refused to be stopped. Take it right on down there.
By the way, Joey Allgood and Logan Aderman, the other two on that offensive line tonight. I want to make sure we mention each and every one of those as we go through our games each week. That offensive line does a lot of work in this style of offense, as do the running backs. Not only running the ball, but blocking. McCubbin under center, pitches it right side. This is Farrell, cuts it back across the 35. Farrell out to the 40 before he's finally wrapped up.
What a run.
A gain of 16 yards for Kyle Farrell and a Wildcat self-storage first down.
Kyle Farrell with the 16-yard carry, good for a Wilmington first down.
Well, that was a nice run right off right tackle guard there.
Very interesting beginning for the Cats after having the fumble back him up to 2nd and 11 and just continuing to run the football and churn out yardage. All right, 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 41. The Cats moving right to left. Pitch to Castle off the left side. Breaks a tackle, but then gets wrapped up and thrown back after a gain of maybe 3.
He met a stiff resistance there.
As Chase Rivera on the tackle for Peotone. Well, that was nice. Stepped right up in the hole and made the play. The Cats, like always, will use every second of this play clock, every opportunity they get. They want to shorten games as much as possible.
Yeah, they certainly do. If you've got the ball, they can't score.
All right, back up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 7 from the Wilmington 44. This is to Farrell off the right side. Cuts it back up the middle. Breaks it across midfield up the sideline. Farrell inside the 30 to the 20. Farrell being chased and into the end zone for a touchdown. Broke the tackle of Jaden Rodriguez inside the 10-yard line. That is a 56-yard touchdown run for Kyle Farrell. And that will put the Cats on the board first. I thought that Rodriguez was going to catch him at the 10, and Farrell kind of spun out of that tackle and into the end zone.
Well, it was a foot race down this left sideline, and he was trying to cut Farrell off. Got a hold of the jersey and hung on to it, but Farrell twisted away from him.
So Reed Juster on to attempt the extra point here. The Cats up 6-0, 4:41 to go opening quarter. McCubbin will take the snap from Castle, and the kick is good from Reed Juster. And the Cats lead it 7-0. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Spins and Needles in Wilmington is the premier sewing shop in the Chicagoland area. They specialize in sewing machine repair, tune-ups, and cleaning. And Spins and Needles also has a full selection of sewing products to choose from, including fabric, quilting supplies, and wind spinners. Stop by Spins and Needles at 614 Davy Lane in Wilmington from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or call 815-592-1183. Riverfront Lanes in Wilmington is the place for fun with family and friends. They have leagues and open bowling along with all the extras like bumpers for the kids and cosmic bowling. Riverfront Lanes is your party headquarters too. Whether it's a birthday, company outing, or fundraiser, they can take care of you. Visit riverfrontlanes.com for hours and more information, or stop by at 402 South Water Street in Wilmington.
Well, Reed Juster kicked the extra point here tonight, but Reed Walden is doing the kickoff duties here tonight, which is a good thing. The Cats using both kickers as that comes down to the 18-yard line, returned out to the 28, and what a tackle there. Was that Kettman? It is. Ryan came up and made a great tackle at the 28-yard line. The return on the play by Chris Pagliarulo. And it will be 1st and 10 for Peotone from their own 28. Boy, what a play by Kettman on special teams. We'll see what Peotone does here. I will tell you that there are some weapons out there for the Blue Devils offense.
Yes, there are.
And the biggest one is 6'3", 170-pound Ruben Velasco taking the snaps under center here. Out of the double wing, one receiver to the far side. In motion, the handoff goes to Rivera trying to get the corner. He will across the 35 out near the 40 and ushered out of bounds there by Farrell. Looks like he stepped out of bounds back around the 37, so a gain of 8 yards. Bring up 2nd and 2 for Peotone. You don't see that happen very often to the Wildcats.
No,
Somebody get around the edge. That very rarely happens. .427 to go in the opening quarter. The Cats already lead at 7-0. Again, out of the double wing. Velasco under center, hands it off to the fullback, Rodriguez. He'll spin ahead and is close to a first down. This depends on the spot on the far side. I think he got it. And it is.
Hand off to number 4, Jaden Rodriguez.
I don't know.
First down.
Now that's a first right there. Both officials standing on the 39-yard line, and they spot it at the 40. Sometimes you have one standing on the 40 and one at the 39, but I don't think I've seen it where both are standing in the 39. They just put it on the 40 anyway. It would have been a first down regardless. Just kind of interesting. Handoff up the middle. This is Rodriguez. He gets maybe a yard. Boy, Swisher got back there in a hurry and kind of messed that whole thing up. Oland ended up with a tackle for the Cats, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
2nd and 9 for the Blue
Wow.
Devils.
He hit that the full head of steam, and Swisher just shut it off.
All right, so Swisher out there along with Pete Rampa up front. I think it's Oland, yep, on the defensive line as well. I believe that's Cortez to the outside. We'll give you the linebackers here in just a moment. Out of the double wing, one receiver to the near side. 2nd down and 9. A little sweep motion, and that goes nowhere. Farrell blows that up at the 39-yard line along with Brendan Moran. They tried to run to the outside on the near side of the field with Chris Pagliarulo, and that went nowhere. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
He's taken down at the 42-yard line.
So Joey Allgood, Ryan Nelson, and Moran in the middle of the field for the Cats. And the defensive backs, Ryan Kettman along with Cade McCubbin. Good to see him back out there defensively playing his defensive back spot. Farrell out there along with Juster too.
Nice to get some of those guys back.
All right, 3rd down and 8 from the Peotone 42, and we have a timeout just before the snap. That will go to the Blue Devils, and we'll take a break as well. 2:23 to go opening quarter. Cats lead at 7-0. Back with more Wilmington football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Eaton and Schultz Insurance Group in Wilmington has earned the title of being a trusted choice agency. That means they can offer competitive prices, a large range of products, and unequaled support. Whether it's home, car, or life insurance, Eaton & Schultz can take care of it. Eaton & Schultz is open Monday through Thursday 9 to 5 and Friday 9 to 4:30 at 382 West Baltimore Street in Wilmington, or 24 hours a day at eatonandschultz.net. Eaton & Schultz Insurance Group. People serving people. The Wilmington Chamber of Commerce at wilmingtonilchamber.org represents Wilmington businesses in many ways, including Employees of the Month, job postings, a full directory, an event listing, and more. They are also proud to announce their very first office location at 616 Davie Lane. WilmingtonILChamber.org is the source for all things business related in Wilmington.
3rd down and 8 for Peotone out of the timeout from the Blue Devil 42-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side out of the single wingback spot. Rolling right side is Velasco. Fires. Is that caught? It is. Out near midfield. Good catch there by Colin Emsweller. Good coverage defensively for the Cats, too. That is a gain of 9 yards and a Blue Devil first down.
Yeah, Emsweller did what a good receiver should do. He got just beyond that marker set up.
And so far, Velasco has done a pretty good job of putting the ball on the money.
Yes, he has.
Out of the double wing here. Ruben up under center. 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 49. Handoff to Rodriguez. That got stacked up for no gain. Maybe a yard. That's about it.
Handoff goes to Jaden Rodriguez.
Boy, McCubbin got in there and blew everything up in a hurry.
It will be 2nd down and 8 for the Blue Devils.
Be a gain of a yard, so 2nd and 9 for Peotone. 1:30 to go here in the opening quarter.
Hey, that little pass job he does, that is really a great compliment to the running game.
All right, double wing again for Peotone. Velasco up under center. 2nd down and 9 for the Wilmington 48. Handoff goes in that jet sweep to the far side. And a gain of a couple. Pretty good job by Wilmington chasing that down. Chase Rivera had the carry, and the Cats managed to close that down after a gain of maybe 3. It'll bring up 3rd down
2-yard gain on
and
the play makes it
6.
3rd down and 6 from the 45-yard line for Peotone.
So 3rd and 6 from the Wilmington 45. That play's been pretty effective for the Blue Devils here early. I think Wilmington's starting to catch on to that, though. Again, 2 backs in the backfield this time out of the almost wing T formation. Handoff goes left side, and that goes nowhere. Oland in on the tackle as Chase Rivera tried to carry it off the left tackle, and that just got dropped immediately. So it'll bring up 4th down. Holy smokes, they're going to put that ball down to the 43-yard line?
What?
That's a gift. Bring up 4th down and a long 4.
Well, I'd already put down 0 yards.
I don't know how that's even possible. So at the end of the first quarter, the Cats lead at 7-0 over Peotone. We'll take a break. Come back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com.
Start of the second quarter, bring up 4th down and 4 for Peotone from the Wilmington 43. I'm still interested to see how that ball got to the 43. It looks like Peotone's going to punt, but I definitely would not trust this. We'll see. trying to get Wilmington, I think, to jump here, but and the kick from Rivera is not going to go very far. This kicked at the 30 and got a really friendly Peotone roll down near the 18-yard line, and that's where the Cats will start first and 10.
Where will be Wilmington first and 10.
Well, first quarter's in the books.
I think, if I was going to go back to a couple of things, if you remember week 1 at Seneca, the Irish were all in that entire game. I mean, if it was fourth down, they were going for it. If they were doing everything
Absolutely.
to possibly win, and that's the kind of stuff that if you're going to beat Wilmington, you just got to be all in everywhere.
Yeah. Seneca coach just pushed the limits.
And that's what I was thinking right there. 4th and 4 from the 43. That's, but we'll see. Maybe the defense can get a stop and Peotone get the ball back with good field position. We'll see here. Good job that time by Peotone up front. Farrell on the carry. That went nowhere. Maybe a gain of a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. And I'm being generous if I say a yard.
Yeah, he had a 56-yard run the last time for a touchdown.
2nd and 9 for the Wildcats.
So 2nd down and 9. McCubbin up under center. Again out of the double wing here. Pitch comes left side to Castle. Across the 20. Almost broke that tackle. Got tripped up at the 26, but he was very close to getting out of that grip and going to the end zone. Give him about 7 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and a couple for the Cats at the 26-yard line. But when I say close to breaking that was close.
Boy, you could see it. He just realized he was just breaking through and started to take off. His eyes came up, and somebody got his foot right at the last minute.
All right, so 3rd down and a couple here for the Cats from their own 26-yard line. Again, out of the double wing here. We'll see if Peotone can get a stop. This would be a big defensive stand for the Blue Devils. Off the right side, breaking it over the middle is Farrell. And he runs over a defender at the 35. He will pick up a 1st down as he gets tackled out near the 36. A gain of 10 yards and a Wildcat self-storage 1st down.
Boy, he come bursting through there. There was a Blue Devil, number 54, standing right there and hit him head on time, and he drove him back a little bit.
Yeah, that's Brandon Pleckham, 5'10", 200-pound junior. So again, the Cats taking a lot of time, but now they need to go. 8 seconds. They haven't gotten out of the huddle yet. Here they come up to the line with 4 seconds. McCubbin under center, and they snap it with 1 on that clock. Castle off the far side, across the 40, across the 45, across the 50. There is a flag down. Back at the 37. Actually, they move it up to the 41, and it is a hold on Wilmington.
Flag is for holding against Wilmington.
So they'll move it back from the 40. By the way, Braden Anderson in there at fullback now, the 5'9", 183-pound senior. So they move that back 10 yards. It'll bring up 1st down and 16, and back at the 30. And those are the kind of things for Wilmington that you can't afford.
Yeah, those kind of things, shooting yourself in the foot. They need to really get rid of that kind of.
But that was a nice run, too.
It was. He was really out there.
All right, 1st and 16 from the Cats 30, moving left to right here. Pitch comes off the near side. Farrell across the 35, across the 40. Farrell might go again. Inside the 40. Farrell to the 20. 10, 5, touchdown Wilmington. 70-yard touchdown run for
70-yard run by number 8,
Kyle Farrell. And there is a flag down on the near sideline, and I have no idea what that's for. Farrell was long gone.
Oh, yeah, there was nobody close to him.
I mean, I don't see how that's.
I mean, there was nobody. There wasn't any blocks being thrown. He was so far out.
No, he was gone. I mean, there was no one. There was no one anywhere near him. So I guess they're going to say there's some sort of a penalty, although we haven't been told what it is yet. A block in the back when he was 40 yards past it.
There was
for a block in the back. The ball will be spotted at the 50-yard line.
Well, here we go. Cats will have it 1st and 10 from the 50.
We'll have 1st and 10.
Hey, speaking of which, so that's what, a 20-yard run? Yeah, 20-yard run.
I had it mine as a 70-yard run.
That's interesting. I'll give you that. 1st and 10 from midfield. This is Farrell down to the 49-yard line. It'll be wrapped up there.
Carried by number 8, Kyle Farrell. Taken down by number 51, Luke Lally of Peotone.
So bring up 2nd down and 9.
That was a crazy thing.
Yeah, I can't.
There's nobody even around him anywhere.
2nd and 9 for the Wildcats.
That's something. So 2nd and 9, 8:31 to go here in the first half. Let's see what the Cats can do to regroup after the touchdown run being called back. McCubbin up under center will pitch it left side. Castle trying to get the corner inside the 50. And Jake will get down near the 45-yard line.
Hand off to number 3, Jake Castle. Taken down by
Be a gain of about 3 yards. Bring up 3rd down and 6.
Well, that was such a beautiful run, too. Wow.
So 3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line at Peotone. Let's see what the Cats do here. I think they get close. They might go for it on 4th down, but they're going to have to get some yardage. Pitch comes right side. Farrell breaks it back. He ran into, I think, to his own guy at the 45-yard line.
I think he did.
Pitch to number 8, Kyle Farrell, is stuffed up by the Blue Devils.
That'll be a gain of a yard.
5 from the 45-yard line.
And it'll bring up 4th and 5. I think that was the right move by Farrell to cut it back because there was a huge gap. He just happened to
run into his own
smack
guy.
right into his own blocker.
Yeah, he was. Looked like he was going to cut it in there and make some yards. And bang, he ran right in the back of his buddy.
All right, so punt coming up here as Juster will kick it away. That's a beautiful kick. Might go into the end zone, actually. Barely does, but it does get there. And Peotone will have it back out at the 20-yard line. 6:40 to go in the half. And Cats lead it 7-0 over Peotone.
From the 20-yard line for the Blue Devils.
Boy, that changed the complexion of the story real quick, didn't it?
Sure did. And now the Cats need to make a stand defensively and get the ball back, try to get a score before the half. The Wilmington will get the football to start the second half.
The Peotone team's always dangerous. That pass they've got, you never know when that's coming.
One receiver to the near side out of the double wing here, trying that jet sweep again. They've managed to get 2 or 3 or 4 every time they've run that. That is Chase Rivera on the carry that go around. He'll get about 3 yards, bring up 2nd down and 7.
2nd and 7 for the Blue Devils.
First time it got 10. The last couple of times it's gotten 3 apiece, but it's still managing to get positive yardage here.
Yeah, the best they got was 8 yards. All that.
Well, Wilmington really needs a defensive stop and swing the momentum back again.
Yeah, they do. That just really took the wind out of the sails.
Out of the double wing here. Velasco under center, drops back to pass. Getting pressured, hit as he throws, and it's dropped at the 37-yard line. The pass was a little bit wobbly because Velasco got hit as he fired it, but Rivera was standing all by himself at the 37-yard line. I mean, he was all by himself.
Well, it's a good thing they had that pressure on him, because that might have been just enough to knock the ball a little bit off course.
It was a little bit wobbly coming out of his hand because of that hit, but
might have made it a little bit hard to catch.
Well, that's the thing tonight, is that the Cats have to get pressure, because if you don't, Ruben will put the ball in the money.
He'll pick you apart. Yeah, he will.
5:53 to go in the half. Let's see what Peotone does here on 3rd and 6 from their own 24-yard line, and we have a timeout to the Blue Devils. All right, 5:53 to go in the half. Take a break. Come back with more Wilmington Wildcats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
The attorneys and staff at Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes are here to help during your most stressful legal situations, including criminal cases, divorce, custody, personal injury, and more. Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes will be with you every step of the way with aggressive representation that results in positive outcomes. Call 815-306-4864. Visit online at odekirklaw.com or stop by any one of their locations in Joliet, Manteno, Morris, or Wilmington today. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's.
All right, so big 3rd down for this Wilmington defense. Peotone's going to have a 3rd and 6 from their own 24-yard line. Velasco rolls left side, looking downfield, fires. That is caught out across the 35 or 40 to the 43-yard line, and that will be enough for a 1st down. That is a gain of 19 yards and a Peotone 1st down.
Who was the receiver on that? That's a good question.
You know what? I glanced down so fast. I think it was 16. I think. Speaking of which, in motion goes Pagliarulo, who gets it right side, and he got upended at the 42 near the 43. I believe that's Reed Juster on the tackle. Bring up 2nd down and 9 with 5:20 to go in the 1st half.
2nd and 9.
Is that Mr. Rivera?
That was Pagliarulo.
Oh, it was.
Went in motion from the near side. All right, well, we've got ourselves a good game here tonight, I'll tell you that much. 2nd down and just about 10 out of the wing tee this go-around. And a pass to the far side, and Juster flings the receiver out of bounds. That is Colin Elmsweller, and he'll pick up about 5 yards, maybe 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
3rd down and 6 for Peotone.
That's his 3rd catch of the night.
I'll tell you this.
23 yards.
Now, I struggle with the head coach's name, but Apostolos Simus? But I will just go with Apostolos. He always has Peotone ready with some wrinkles. Every single time. And dropping back is Velasco, and he's sacked, fumbled the football. Back at the 30, they're going to say he was down, I guess.
I don't know about that either.
Out at the 37-yard line. That's a loss of 10, and it will force a Peotone punt. I think that was Joey Cortez back there who blew that up.
Velasco is sacked on the play by Wilmington.
There's been some interesting stuff here tonight. I am fairly certain. I mean, I guess if he called him just in the grass when the play was dead, but that's close at best.
You're right, at best.
All right, so Peotone to punt the football away here. Good snap. And the kick, Anderson pressured that. It's going to bounce sideways at the 45 and then rolls dead at the 43-yard line.
Ball will be spotted at the 43-yard line after the punt. Wilmington will have 1st and 10.
Now, if Wilmington get something before they go into the halftime, that would put this game back on a even keel again.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I come back to the Cats get the ball to start the third quarter. So if Wilmington can get into the end zone here, get the ball to start the third quarter and score there, it makes things very difficult. But, of course, the Cats have to start with putting the ball in the end zone before the end of the half.
Yeah, that's the big one there.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 43. Wilmington working left to right. That got blown up. Boy, good defense from Peotone.
Wow, 54.
Man, that's a nice job getting through there is Brandon Pleckham. And Farrell will lose a yard. Boy,
they need to, they've gone to Farrell now 3 times in a row, 1-1 and -2 yards.
We have not seen any fullback runs tonight.
I would say that
not a one.
They're looking for Farrell. You better try something else. No, we haven't seen a fullback run, have we?
Brendan Moran in there on this series. Now, he's run the ball a few times in the last year or two. Of course, Braden more of the running fullback when he's in. Out of the double wing here, underneath, this is Farrell, big hole! Farrell breaks a tackle at the 45, up the sideline. Farrell at the 20, 15, makes a move, into the end zone. Touchdown, Wilmington. 58 yards.
No, I'm going to wait till I write this down.
Holy cow, that is a phenomenal run by Kyle Farrell.
Kyle Farrell with the 58-yard
58-yard touchdown run. The Cats up 13-0. And you know what that came from? It was the opposite side when they run the counter. They had the one wing back on in motion. They went counter to Farrell coming underneath. He made one move, broke a couple of tackles, stayed in bounds up the near sideline and into the end zone.
Wow. Now, I'm just saying, they're king on Farrell.
And they still found a way to kind of sneak that in there.
They took him a different direction. And boy, was that a good call.
So Reed Juster comes on, trying to add on one more here. Good snap by Castle, and wow, I don't know. That was wide left, but it might have been blocked if he would have kicked it straight up the middle. That was all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, it was. They were coming right in.
Well, the Cats lead it 13-0, 2:36 to go in the half. We'll take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Teresa's Family Styling Salon in Wilmington is an all-ages salon that will style your hair for that special look. They offer cuts, perms, and coloring for any fashion. They also carry Paul Mitchell and Brocato products. Teresa's Family Styling Salon is located in the Southgate Plaza in Wilmington, and you can call for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955. Pro Real Estate is a family-owned business established in 1983. Its staff and sales agents work in all areas of real estate sales, from first-time homebuyers to experienced investors. Located at 506 South Water Street in Wilmington, clients are welcome to stop by to discuss their real estate needs or visit our website at pro-homes.net. For a private consultation, contact us at 815-476-7916.
2:36 to go in the half. Cats lead it 13-0 over Peotone. As Reed Walden will get set to kick it off left to right. Looks like Jaden Rodriguez back deep at his own 10-yard line. And again, Wilmington will get the ball to start the second half. So that score right there is a big one.
Now we got major on getting through the rest of this half.
Kick comes down to the 20. Good coverage by the Cats special teams. Comes back out to the 25-yard line. And I believe that was Nelson on the stop for Wilmington. And Peotone will have it 1st and 10
Ruled down at the 26-yard
from their own 26-yard line. Now, if you're Peotone, what do you do here? That's the interesting.
Well, you got that cannon back there.
You do, but the last thing you want to do is go
So
3 and
interception.
out and give it back to Wilmington too, because knowing that they're also going to get the ball at the beginning of the second half. I mean, I think I'd be a little cautious, but if you break something here, then go to the air. We'll see. Velasco will hand it off left side, and that got stacked up.
Boy, was that a wall.
Immediately. 4 or 5
1, 2,
Wildcats
3, 4.
in there.
I think 5 of them.
Rodriguez on the carry, and boy, he got met in the hole by Joey Allgood, and man, when I say met in the hole, stopped right there.
I mean, he
All
hit
good.
that line and stopped.
2nd and 8 from the 28-yard line.
I mean, when you're running a Joe Allgood at 6'1", 225 pounds, you might know it. 2:15 to go in the half. Again, out of the double wing here. If I'm the Cats, I might consider using a timeout or two. Pagleru in motion. Pitch goes right side. This is Rodriguez, and he gets stacked up again. 3 or 4 Cats in there. Nelson along with Cortez. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8, so maybe a gain of another yard, and that's about it. See what happens here. If Wilmington stops them on 3rd down, I would be very surprised if Coach Reitz doesn't use a timeout.
You never can tell when they break another long run.
Right. I'm not saying they got to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But
Well, we aren't known for great passing, and
no, but I will tell you this.
they can throw it.
There was a long touchdown pass last week to
Yeah.
Brendan Moran.
You know, both the starting quarterback and the backup have thrown long ones.
2 receivers to either side. Velasco fires it far side, incomplete. Boy, and that is a gift to Wilmington. Clock should stop and does at 1:12.
Velasco. Intended receiver was number 4, Jaden Rodriguez.
And the punt's going to come back to Wilmington with more than a minute left. And the Cats also have all 3 timeouts.
4th down and 7 for the Blue Devils.
So that's going to make things interesting. Kyle Farrell back at his own 40, getting set to return this punt. Rivera going to punt it away here for Peotone. Although, again, make sure that he does it.
Yep, you better believe it.
And there's the kick. Much better kick that time. Inside the
Big
45,
bounce.
rolls inside the 40, down to the Wilmington 36. That's where the Cats will have it 1st and 10. Now, we'll see if Barry Southall and this offense are going to try something here, or if the Cats are happy to go into halftime and get the ball at the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
I know one thing. I'd experiment a few times hitting that line.
I think I would. Like I said, you don't have to air it out here.
No.
But if you run the ball a couple of times, you never know.
I mean, you might hit the jackpot, get somebody through.
All right, so Moran back in there at fullback. 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 36. McCubbin under center. And he's going to drop back to pass. Firing down the middle of the field. Wide open is Castle. He has it at the 30. Jake Castle tackled there.
Well,
A gain of 36 yards on the pass play from Cade McCubbin to Jake Castle. 54 seconds to go in the half.
no,
and
we're
the
not
Cats
doing
have
anything crazy. You know?
right, nothing crazy. Just a 40-yard pass down the middle of the field. So the Cats down to the Peotone 28. Handoff up the middle. Moran, big hole. Brendan Moran down to the 10, all the way down to the 6-yard line before he's tripped up. That's a gain of 22 more for Brendan Moran. You know, we just said we hadn't seen the fullback all night. And just like that, we see the fullback.
You see him? All right. Well,
1st and goal from the 6. Back to the double wing here for the Cats again. McCubbin under center. Still 3 timeouts left. Pitch comes right side. Farrell's going to go in for a touchdown. 6-yard touchdown run. The Cats lead it 19-0. Wilmington scored in 36 seconds with no timeouts being used. Wow. That was really quick. So Cats will attempt the extra point here as Juster on. Boy, the Cats go into the passing playbook. And what I liked about the pass play that they ran were there were 3 or 4 routes downfield instead of just 1 or 2. And the kick here is good, but again, pressure off that right side. So there might be something there to look at if you're Wilmington. In any case, the Cats lead it 20-0 with 29 seconds to go in this first half. Be sure to stick around for our halftime show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net. We'll give you the first half stats here tonight. We'll also have a full check of the IHSA football scoreboard brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. And we'll get you set for the second half as well. All that and more on our halftime show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net. We'll get to that here in 30 seconds of game time. Boy, you want to talk about a momentum swing for the Cats. Up 7-0 halfway through the second quarter. Get a touchdown with 2.5 minutes left. Get the ball back again after that. Score again despite not using any timeouts to do it.
Isn't that amazing? Wow, what a job.
Led by a 36-yard pass play, McCubbin to Castle.
He had a little bit of a softness on the end of the throw. He didn't quite go as fast as he wanted to.
I was about ready to say, if he would have hit that on a line, Castle's scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, he is.
The kick here comes down at the 20, picked up at the 18-yard line by Emsweller, and he is brought to the ground about the 26.
Number 24, Colin Emsweller. Return just past out the 25-yard line.
So Peotone will have the ball 1st and 10 with 23 seconds to go in the half. And again, Wilmington will get the ball to start the second half as well. And I think Peotone this go-around is just going to take a knee and get to the half. So Velasco will indeed take a knee, and that will do it for the first half of play. Boy, the Cats finish the half in a flurry. Wilmington leads it 20-0 at the break. Welcome into the halftime show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net. We'll take a break, come back with your first half stats and a bunch of scores too. Back in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 40 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com. Or call 815-521-0900. Warren's Collision Center is now at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. They accept all insurance companies, and as always, customer service is their top priority. Contact Warren's Collision at 815-458-3300, stop by online at warrenscollision.com, or visit in person at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. Warren's Collision Center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Wildcat Self-Storage is a facility providing clean, convenient, and well-maintained storage units. They provide great customer service with competitive rates, and they also have online bookings and payments for your convenience. Wildcat Self-Storage is at 131 School Street in Wilmington, online at wildcatsst.com, and by phone at 815-768-0681. Wildcat Self-Storage is proud to be locally owned. Wilmington Pizzeria is located at 205 East Baltimore Street in Wilmington. They have pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and a full selection of family meal deals. They offer pickup and delivery too. Wilmington Pizzeria is open Monday through Saturday from 10:30 to 9. Call Wilmington Pizzeria at 815-476-7011 or check them out at wilmingtonpizzeria.com. Spins and Needles in Wilmington is the premier sewing shop in the Chicagoland area. They specialize in sewing machine repair, tune-ups, and cleaning. And Spins and Needles also has a full selection of sewing products to choose from, including fabric, quilting supplies, and wind spinners. Stop by Spins and Needles at 614 Davy Lane in Wilmington from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or call 815-592-1183.
This is the Halftime Show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net and also at 815-476-7916. Cats have a lead here at the half, 20-0 over Peotone. It was 7-0 about halfway through the second quarter, and then Wilmington managed to get a score, stop Peotone, get the ball back, score again in like 35 seconds. And then we'll get the ball to start the second half as well. At the moment, the Cats lead it 20-0 over Peotone. All right, first half stats. First off for the Peotone Blue Devils, rushing the football. Ruben Velasco, 1 carry for -10 yards. To be fair, it was more of a sack than him trying to rush the ball. But in any case, it still results in -10 yards. Chase Rivera, 5 rushing attempts for 17 yards in the first half. Jaden Rodriguez, 9 carries for 10 yards. And Chris Pagliarulo, 1 carry for 1 yard. Peotone, 16 rushing attempts in that first half for 18 total yards. Through the air, Ruben Velasco was 4 of 8 for 42 yards. Chris Pagliarulo, 1 reception for 19 yards. And Colin Emsweller, 3 receptions for 23 yards in that first half. So Peotone with 42 yards through the air, 18 on the ground. That's 60 total yards of offense in the first half for Peotone. For Wilmington, rushing the football, Cade McCubbin, 1 rushing attempt for -1 yard. It actually was a fumble, and Cade just went back and fell on it. Jake Castle, 4 rushing attempts for 19 yards in that first half. Kyle Farrell, a big half, 12 rushing attempts, 170 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Brendan Moran had 1 carry for 22 yards as well. Through the air, Cade McCubbin was 1 of 1 for 36 yards. The 36-yard pass play was to Jake Castle. The Cats, 210 yards on the ground, 36 through the air. Wilmington, 246 yards of offense in the first half alone, as the Cats outgained Peotone 246-60 in that initial half of football. So Wilmington leads it 20-0 over Peotone here at the half, and the Cats will also get the ball to start the second half here in just a little bit. Boy, beautiful night for football. Started off, it was 72 degrees and still sunny. The sun has gone down, but now it's still 64 degrees or so. One really nice thing about the new Peotone scoreboard is they have kind of an LED board at the bottom, which they can put announcements or whatever on. And the nice thing is they put the temperature and everything, current temp. So it was 64, I think, last time I saw. But beautiful, beautiful night for football. And for the most part this year, we have had that. It was warm for a night or two, but for the most part, it's actually been very nice throughout the year. All right, so the Cats lead at 20-0 over Peotone. We'll be back here in just a moment. We'll have a full check of the IHSA football scoreboard brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. We'll do that here in just a couple of minutes. This is the Halftime Show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net and also at 815-476-7916. Scores for you in a moment here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Riverfront Lanes in Wilmington is the place for fun with family and friends. They have leagues and open bowling along with all the extras like bumpers for the kids and cosmic bowling. Riverfront Lanes is your party headquarters too. Whether it's a birthday, company outing, or fundraiser, they can take care of you. Visit riverfrontlanes.com for hours and more information, or stop by at 402 South Water Street in Wilmington. Eaton & Schultz Insurance Group in Wilmington has earned the title of being a trusted choice agency. That means they can offer competitive prices, a large range of products, and unequaled support. Whether it's home, car, or life insurance, Eaton & Schultz can take care of it. Eaton & Schultz is open Monday through Thursday 9 to 5 and Friday 9 to 4:30 at 382 West Baltimore Street in Wilmington, or 24 hours a day at eatonandschultz.net. Eaton & Schultz Insurance Group, people serving people. The Wilmington Chamber of Commerce at wilmingtonilchamber.org represents Wilmington businesses in many ways, including Employees of the Month, job postings, a full directory, an event listing, and more. They are also proud to announce their very first office location at 616 Davie Lane. WilmingtonILChamber.org is the source for all things business related in Wilmington. The attorneys and staff at Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes are here to help during your most stressful legal situations, including criminal cases, divorce, custody, personal injury, and more. Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes will be with you every step of the way with aggressive representation that results in positive outcomes. Call 815-306-4864, visit online at odekirklaw.com, or stop by any one of their locations in Joliet, Manteno, Morris, or Wilmington today.
Cats lead at 20-0 over Peotone here at the half. This is the halftime show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net and also at 815-476-7916. All right, we've got some time here tonight, about, 9 minutes or so before the start of our second half. Time for a full check of the IHSA football scoreboard brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. Let's start with the Illinois Central 8 football scores. Boy, there's some interesting stuff going on tonight, I'll tell you that. Coal City leads Lisle 41-0 on Lisle. That game at the half. Coal City 2-1. Lisle at 1-2 on the year. Coal City just absolutely rolling Lisle in the first half. Reed Custer and Herscher, there's a game that kind of gets your attention a little bit. It's that one because I didn't expect Reed Custer to really be at the same level as they were last year. No one did. But struggling with Herscher at the half is really interesting from a conference standpoint. The Comets came into that game at 1-2. Herscher was 0-3. Reed Custer up 23-20. That is at the half. Streeter a 12-6 lead on Manteno. A pair of 1-2 teams there. And Streeter with a 6-point lead at the half over Manteno. All right, let's go through other scores from around the area and state. We'll start with 3A. If I can get this, how do I get this thing to scroll? There we go. Number 1, Byron, a 21-0 lead over North Boone. That game in the second quarter. Number 2 team in 3A is Montini Catholic. They trail Bennett 3-0. That game is in the first quarter. Number 3, Williamsville. A good matchup here, by the way. Williamsville and number 9, Stanford Olympia. The Bullets from Williamsville lead at 20-12. That game is at the half. Number 5, Princeton, a 7-0 lead on Orion. That game in the second quarter as well. Tolono Unity, number 17, 28-7 over Decatur St. Teresa in the second quarter. Also in the second, number 7, Durand Pecatonica leads West Carroll 43-0. And in the first quarter, Roxana, the Shells. Boy, there's one you don't hear all that often. The Roxana Shells lead Columbia 6-0. That's in the first. They're the number 10 team, at least in 3A. Currently at the moment. Other scores from around the suburbs. Andrew 14-0 over Stagg. That's in the second quarter. Aurora Christian, the team that we saw at Wilmington a couple of weeks ago, leads St. Edward Catholic 6-0 in the first. Aurora Christian, by the way, getting votes to be ranked in 1A. So Aurora Christian, before the end of the year, now we said it during that broadcast, that Aurora Christian is going to make the playoffs more than likely in 1A, and they might make some noise. Who knows? But they lead St. Edward Central Catholic 6-0 in the first. Glenbard East 28-0 over Aurora East in the second quarter. In the first quarter, Batavia and St. Charles North tied at 14. Bolingbrook and Homewood Flossmoor tied at 7. That game in the first quarter. Lincoln Way East, a 10-3 lead over Bradley Bourbonnais. That's in the second, which is also very interesting because Bradley Bourbonnais was getting some votes to being ranked as well, and they're trailing Lincoln Way East in the second quarter. Glenbard South. I think I missed something here. Glenbard South, 22-6 lead over Streamwood. That's in the second quarter. Also in the second quarter, Wheaton Warrenville South, 21-0 over Glenbard North. Oswego pummeling Joliet Central in the third quarter, 48-0. Oswego leads Joliet Central. At the half, Plainfield North 10, Joliet West 7. Battle of the Lincoln Ways. Lincoln Way West leads Lincoln Way Central 14-0. That game in the first quarter. Kankakee, the number 1 ranked team in 5A at the moment, leads Riverside Brookfield 22-0. That game in the first quarter. Lockport a 14-7 lead over Sandburg. That's also in the second. IC Catholic and Nazareth, if you're interested in ranked 4A teams. IC Catholic tied at 7 with Nazareth in the second quarter. Moments at 27-0 lead over Hoopston Armstrong. That's in the second. All of these scores in the second, by the way. Chicago Mount Carmel 21-7 over St. Rita. It's DeKalb 14, Matea 0. Richards and Oak Lawn are tied at 7. A final from yesterday. Good grief. Hershey beat Vernon Hills 67-0 from yesterday. My goodness. Wheaton North a 14-7 lead in the second quarter over St. Charles East. Naperville Central and Wabanzi Valley are tied in the second quarter. At the half, Sycamore leads Ottawa 42-0. The Pirates struggling tonight. Lamont in the first quarter, Lamont leads 28-0 over the Tinley Park Titans. Oak Forest 21-20 over Hillcrest. That game is at the half. Also at the half, Neuqua Valley 3, Naperville North 0. In the third quarter, Plainfield North leads Joliet West 10-7. Didn't I just see a Joliet West score over here? Is it the same one? I was trying to make sure I had that correct. Yorkville leads Plainfield Central. That's 14-0 in the second quarter. Back to the Illinois Central 8. Reed Custer leads Herscher 23-20 at the half. Coal City 41-0 over Lyle. That game at the half too. And Streeter leads Mantino 12-6 also at the half. That's a full check of the IHSA football scoreboard brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. Big thank you to them for sponsoring that again this year. And we'll have one more full check of that scoreboard when we have our postgame show a little later on. This has been the Halftime Show brought to you by Pro Real Estate at pro-homes.net and also at 815-476-7916. The Cats lead at 20-0 over Peotone. We'll be back with more Wilmington Wildcats football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Teresa's Family Styling Salon in Wilmington is an all-ages salon that will style your hair for that special look. They offer cuts, perms, and coloring for any fashion. They also carry Paul Mitchell and Brocato products. Teresa's Family Styling Salon is located in the Southgate Plaza in Wilmington, and you can call for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955. Pro Real Estate is a family-owned business established in 1983. Its staff and sales agents work in all areas of real estate sales, from first-time homebuyers to experienced investors. Located at 506 South Water Street in Wilmington, clients are welcome to stop by to discuss their real estate needs or visit our website at pro-homes.net. For a private consultation, contact us at 815-476-7916.
Wilmington leads at 20-0 at the start of the third quarter. Peotone will kick it off. Going right to left here. We'll see if the Cats can tack on another score and make this really difficult for Peotone. We'll see. And we'll tell you what looks like to be the battle is the Coal City game a little later on this year. That looks like it's going to be the major showdown of the year. Castle up the right side, huge hole across the 35 all the way out to the 38-yard line before he's tripped up. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Wilmington from the 38. Now, of course, there's business to do before you get to that Coal City game. But the way scores and stuff are shaping out over the last week or two, that might be the one.
Well, how are they doing tonight?
41-0 over Lyle at the half.
41-0.
So there's that.
Oh.
1st and 10 for the Cats from the 38. Again, going left to right out of the double wing here. McCubbin under center, hands it off to Farrell off the right side. Again, big hole across the 45, out near a first down marker at the 48. It looks like Farrell's going to end up with about 9 yards, bringing up 2nd and a yard for the Cats.
9-yard carry by number 8, Kyle Farrell, tackled by number 24.
That's the tricky thing if you're defending Wilmington, is that you can stop, and all it takes is one or two things, and it becomes a problem.
Well, they force you to come up and play the run. A lot of times if you get past that initial line of defense, you got troubles.
All right, 2nd down and a yard from the 48 underneath Braden Anderson. He's going to have the first down. A tough run for 2 yards.
He didn't get much, but he got enough.
Ian Kresge, 5'9", 165 pounds. Senior?
Makes the stop. 1 yard or?
2 yards.
2 yards.
For Braden Anderson. Haven't seen Braden a whole lot tonight, at least not running the football anyway.
Boy, Anderson hit that line full steam ahead, too, but there was a Blue Devil standing right there.
But Brendan Moran had the big fullback run tonight. Right towards the end of the half.
22-yarder.
So 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 49, moving left to right again. Castle off the left side, breaks a tackle inside the 45, carries a defender all the way down near the 40-yard line. And it'll be enough for a Wildcat self-storage first down. Cats move into Peotone territory again.
That first down, how many yards is that?
It's about 11. 10, close to 11. 10-18 to go in the third. Wilmington moving yet again.
Yeah, that's what you like to see, that steady, methodical moving.
Out of the double wing here. This is Farrell. Cuts it back up the middle inside the 35. Makes a move. Breaks a tackle. Still going. Inside the 15. Dragging defenders all the way down to the 5.
Wow. What a run.
Boy, Farrell made 2 moves in there. Cut it back up the middle. Broke a tackle and then was just dragging people.
One of them was a 360 move.
A gain of 33 yards on the run for Kyle Farrell. A Wildcat self-storage first down. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 7 for Wilmington. Boy, Farrell has just made a couple very nice moves tonight.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2 in each one of those runs that have gotten him out into the open. This is Braden Anderson up the middle, churning ahead, gets down inside the 5 to near the 4. As Braden will pick up, let's say 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 4. I will tell you, that's still effective, though. If Braden can get, on average, 3 to 4 yards a carry,
yes,
that really helps Wilmington because it makes the other team respect the fullback run. So 2nd down and goal from the 4. McCubbin under center, pitch back to Farrell, cuts it back again and into the end zone. Boy, that was very easy for Kyle Farrell. He had a lot of nice blocking up front by that Wilmington offensive line. And the Cats now lead it 26-0 with 8:57 to go in the 3rd.
You realize Farrell's got 4 touchdowns running tonight, 4 of them.
He's got to have, what, 240 yards rushing or something?
Well, let's see, 170. 70.
Well, I guess maybe 210.
220, 224. Something like that.
That's a lot of yardage in basically a little over half.
Just a little over half.
Snap from Castle is good. Good hold from McCubbin, and the kick from Readjuster is good. Make it a 27-0 lead for Wilmington. 8:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. Take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 40 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com. Or call 815-521-0900. Warren's Collision Center is now at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. They accept all insurance companies, and as always, customer service is their top priority. Contact Warren's Collision at 815-458-3300, stop by online at warrenscollision.com, or visit in person at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. Warren's Collision Center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair.
Wilmington leading 27-0. 8:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. As Reed Walden will get set to kick off here, again left to right. And that kind of went about 15 yards, and I do not believe that was on purpose by Reed Walden. I think he tried to kick and kick the tee more than he kicked the football, but
will have the ball at their own 45-yard line.
so it'll be 1st and 10 for Peotone from their own 45. Out of the double wing here. And that knocked away, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. I think that's the right call. Looked like Velasco was trying to get rid of the football.
2nd down.
But good pressure by the Cats defensively. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
And good pressure on him, and it was just a question of whether they had the arm motion going forward. We're a long ways from the play, so.
I mean, I think that's the right call.
Yeah, I have no complaints with it. No complaints at all.
2nd down and 10 from the Peotone 45. Again, 2 receivers to the far side. Velasco out of the shotgun here with one back to his right. Single wing formation. Velasco fires deep down the far sideline. Juster, boy, great coverage by Reed Juster. I mean, look back for the football and everything, all the way down to the 25-yard line.
That's how you cover somebody.
Colin Emsweller was the intended receiver about 30 yards downfield. That is beautiful pass coverage from Reed Juster. You just can't do it any better than that. I think That's Billy Moore.
Is that him?
Always struggled to remember his name as a sophomore, but Cortez comes off.
I know him as Billy. I don't know what his last name is.
I don't have the sophomore roster with me, but I think it's Billy Moore. He has done a great job.
Boy, last week he made a couple of really fantastic plays.
And we have a timeout to Peotone. We'll take one as well. Cats lead at 27-0. Back with more Wilmington football in a moment.
Wildcat Self-Storage is a facility providing clean, convenient, and well-maintained storage units. They provide great customer service with competitive rates, and they also have online bookings and payments for your convenience. Wildcat Self-Storage is at 131 School Street in Wilmington, online at wildcatsst.com, and by phone at 815-768-0681. Wildcat Self-Storage is proud to be locally owned. Wilmington Pizzeria is located at 205 East Baltimore Street in Wilmington. They have pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and a full selection of family meal deals. They offer pickup and delivery too. Wilmington Pizzeria is open Monday through Saturday from 10:30 to 9. Call Wilmington Pizzeria at 815-476-7011 or check them out at wilmingtonpizzeria.com.
Velasco out of the shotgun gets hammered as he throws it down the far sideline. That's knocked away, incomplete. Boy, Oland absolutely crushed Velasco at the 39-yard line.
He hit him, man, like a ton of bricks.
I mean, I'm surprised to get the ball that far down the field.
I am too, and he's having a little trouble getting off on his own.
Boy, he stepped into that throw. Again, great coverage by Reed Juster.
I believe I'd throw to the other side of the field. Then you got Billy over there, I think, and he's just pretty good.
So the kick here bounces at the 35, and now we'll roll down to the Wilmington 28, maybe the 27-yard line before it's picked up. Cats will start there, 1st and 10, 8:29 to go in the third quarter.
Wilmington will have 1st and 10 from the 27-yard
Wilmington
line.
has, since the middle of the second quarter or so, moved the ball at will against this Peotone defense.
Okay. Well, let's see what they come out with now.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 28. Here's the counter underneath again. That time read nicely by the Peotone defense. That's Farrell for a gain of maybe 3 or 4. Number 60 on the stop for Peotone, which I do not have in my book, but we'll give them credit anyway. Gain of 4 yards for Kyle Farrell. Bring up 2nd down and 6. So again, out of the double wing here. McCubbin under center, hands it off. Farrell again off that right side, pushes the pile ahead out near the 40. Be a gain of 8 more for Kyle Farrell and a Wildcat self-storage 1st down.
8-yard carry.
Well, I'm telling you this, the Wilmington offensive line is starting to impose their will. I mean, they're just chewing up yardage.
This is what Coach wants to do now, is run that clock down.
Yes. Well, I mean, the Cats, they've had their share of penalties, or not penalties, of injuries this year, and kind of been working through a few things and getting guys back. And, yeah, you definitely want to take your time in this one. Off the right side, Farrell cuts it back up the middle across midfield. Kyle dragging defenders all the way down to the 30.
Wow. He grabbed Kyle by the nape of the neck, and Kyle just drug him with him.
Number 8, Kyle Farrell.
That is a gain of 40 yards on the run for Kyle Farrell.
1st first and 10, Wilmington.
And Wilmington will have another Wildcat self-storage first down at the 30-yard line. Down to 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Again, McCubbin up under center. In motion is Castle. He'll get the handoff. Big hole off the left side. Inside the 20-yard line. Castle running over defenders all the way down to the 15-yard line. Jake Castle, another run of 15 yards. And a Wildcat self-storage first down. Well, I'm telling you, there are huge holes where the line is blocking. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job tonight.
Yeah, they really, the blocking, the blocking and running combination is just fantastic.
All right, 6:25 to go in the third. The Cats have it first and 10 from the Peotone 15. Again, on the double wing, Braden Anderson in there at fullback. Hand off to Castle. Boy, nicely read up front by Pagliarulo. Be a gain of about 2 for Jake Castle. Bring up second down and 8.
Yeah, they picked that up right. He just barely got the handoff, crossing the line of scrimmage, and was hit.
So the clock continues to roll, under 6 minutes to go in this third quarter.
I was just saying, we need to run the clock now. When they had the ball, they ran off about 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, when you start passing the ball, and Peotone's in the mode where they're going to have to pass the ball a lot.
Like 20, 30 seconds is all they ran off the clock in their possession. Yeah.
Second down and 8 from the 13. This is Castle again, run into a wall again. Boy, Peotone stepping up defensively down here in the red zone.
Well, they're not going to give it up easily, are they?
Castle might have gotten a couple of yards. Ian Kresge on the stop for Peotone. They'll bring up third down and 6 after a couple of tough carries there.
Yeah. Interesting how he calls those running plays.
Well, you get so much, and we've seen it kind of rotate. One game you get a ton of Farrell with just a little bit of Castle. Another game you get a ton of Castle with a little bit of Farrell. Braden Anderson, some games, has gotten more carries than others. It's just kind of, interesting mix.
It is.
Out of the double wing, 3rd and 6 from the 11. Underneath, this is Farrell. He's going to get into the end zone again on the counter play.
Wow.
Underneath, Kyle Farrell, a 11-yard touchdown run, and the Cats lead at 33-0.
Wow. That was a beautiful misdirection play. I mean, that counter that time. McCubbin.
Yeah, the
counter went one way and boom.
The counter has been very effective tonight. Very effective. So 33-0, 4:42 to go in this third quarter. Reed Juster on to attempt the extra point here.
And if you're going to get Farrell, you got to get him before he gets the head of steam up. Man, he just gets to chugging on. Boy.
Good snap by Castle. Good hold by McCubbin, and Juster will bang it through. Make it a 34-0 lead for Wilmington. 4:42 to go in this third quarter. Take a break. Come back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Spins and Needles in Wilmington is the premier sewing shop in the Chicagoland area. They specialize in sewing machine repair, tune-ups, and cleaning. And Spins and Needles also has a full selection of sewing products to choose from, including fabric, quilting supplies, and wind spinners. Stop by Spins and Needles at 614 Davy Lane in Wilmington from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or call 815-592-1183.
34-0 is the lead for Wilmington. 4:42 to go in the third quarter. This was sort of a slow starting game tonight, and then all of a sudden, Wilmington took off like a freight train.
Well, yeah, the first quarter, almost a half maybe, was pretty much a quiet game. And then, man, it all exploded.
So a 34-0 lead. Walden will approach and kick off left to right here. Bounces down to the 22-yard line. This returned out near the 30, and that's about it for Colin Emsweller.
He's taken down at the 30-yard line.
And we have a timeout to Wilmington here. I think they might make some defensive adjustments, put some different people in the lineup. Again, for Wilmington, there is absolutely no reason to risk anybody getting injured in this type of game.
Yeah, you have Jester he just got back in there, and McCubbin just got back to going both ways. You really don't want them hurt now. And plus, those other guys that are pretty good players, they love to get a little time in themselves, get a little experience. And when you get to the playoffs, it's nice to have those guys on the bench with experience. You can plug those in and use them. I wonder what about the defensive backfield that we'll have now. Be interesting to watch.
Well, Rink is out there, Billy Moore, Curtis Broussard, and Sean James. That's the defensive backs here for the Cats currently. Handoff goes right side. Rodriguez makes a move, trying to get up the near sideline. Rodriguez inside the 35, inside the 30. Rodriguez is going to go into the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh, boy.
It is a 70-yard touchdown run for Peotone. We'll make it 34-6.
Well, he just went from 10 yards for the night to 80 yards for the night.
So Rodriguez with the score as the Cats put in their second team, and I mean immediately.
Oh, boy.
Peotone went in the end zone. So extra point up here by Rivera. And that kick is good. It'll make it Wilmington 34, Peotone 7. We'll take a break. Come back with more Cats football in a moment.
Riverfront Lanes in Wilmington is the place for fun with family and friends. They have leagues and open bowling along with all the extras like bumpers for the kids and cosmic bowling. Riverfront Lanes is your party headquarters too. Whether it's a birthday, company outing, or fundraiser, they can take care of you. Visit riverfrontlanes.com for hours and more information, or stop by at 402 South Water Street in Wilmington. Eaton & Schultz Insurance Group in Wilmington has earned the title of being a trusted choice agency. That means they can offer competitive prices, a large range of products, and unequaled support. Whether it's home, car, or life insurance, Eaton & Schultz can take care of it. Eaton & Schultz is open Monday through Thursday 9 to 5 and Friday 9 to 4:30 at 382 West Baltimore Street in Wilmington, or 24 hours a day at eatonandschultz.net. Eaton & Schultz Insurance Group. People serving people.
Kickoff comes down at about the 4, and Castle will return it out near the 28-yard line, and that's where Wilmington will start 1st and 10. They're just going to go ahead and wind the clock right now. Actually, they're not going to wind the clock right now because there is an injured player here for Peotone.
Oh, he's acting like he's in some pain too.
Well, and I mean clearly here there's some sort of an agreement between the two sides just to go ahead and run the clock, and of course Reen's putting in his second team to
you don't want to rub it in a little bit.
Well, we got an injured player down around the 28-yard line, and we'll see if maybe it's just getting the wind knocked out of him, which I think is what it was.
Yeah, he's sitting up
his
now.
knees.
That's good.
So that is Chris Pagliarulo, who will head off to the far side.
Looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
Oh,
He's walking kind of gingerly.
Tapping his helmet, so I'm not entirely sure there, but good that he's walking off the field to the far side. All right, so the Cats, it looks like, have mostly second-team offense in here. Now, there are a few first-teamers still out there, and that might end here. Here comes Cortez. So, Cats shuttling in a bunch of people. They go ahead and run that clock, and that's probably the right thing to do here. Both sides want to get out relatively healthy.
Yeah, and
so 1st and 10 for the Cats from their own 28-yard line. This off the right side, churning out yards all the way out to near the 38. On the run goes Joe Van Dyne, and he will pick up 10 yards in a Wildcat self-storage first down.
Nice run by Joe. He's been in there a few different times this year and done a good job when he's in there. A couple more are coming in.
So, yeah, Peotone shuttling in some guys, too. That's really the right thing at this moment, is to just try to get some guys some experience. This is a pitch off the left side. Sean James, he's been running hard the last couple of games and manages to pick up about 4 more on that run. Boy, Sean just 5'6", 143 pounds, but he runs a lot bigger than that.
He sure does.
Got almost 5 yards. That is one thing that I really enjoy about the second-team offense for Wilmington, is that they got 2 or 3 guys that run hard.
I want to give him credit for 5 yards.
So 2nd down and 5 from the 43. Pitch comes right side. Is this Van Dyne again? I can't even tell. He gets across the 45 to near the 46. Going to pick up 2, maybe 3 yards. It is Van Dyne. Gets about 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. Under 2 minutes to go with the half here. By the way, Lucas Rink running the offense here for the Cats down the stretch. As we said, Sean James. I believe Curtis Broussard in there at fullback. Got a whole bunch of people in there different at the offensive line spots. Van Dyne on the far side on the wingback spot. 3rd down and 3 from the 45. Pitch comes left side. And Sean James gets met in the backfield and dropped at the 44-yard line. As Ian Kresge makes the stop.
That guy came. That play developed kind of slow, and the man from the left tackle area over there came across and got him from behind.
So the Cats get ready to punt it away here. Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Let's hope the Wilmington defense is out there for more than one play on the next go-around. Boy, Braden Anderson's way offside. Finally backs up. And the kick here from Juster is caught down at the 25. Anderson trips up the returner across the 30 to the 33. And Emsweller on the return. So 25 seconds to go in the quarter. I don't think Peotone's even going to try to run a play here. There's really no need to. So that will bring us to the fourth quarter. Wilmington leading it 34-7. We'll take a break, come back with our fourth quarter in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
The Wilmington Chamber of Commerce at wilmingtonilchamber.org represents Wilmington businesses in many ways, including Employees of the Month, job postings, a full directory, an event listing, and more. They are also proud to announce their very first office location at 616 Davie Lane. WilmingtonILChamber.org is the source for all things business related in Wilmington. The attorneys and staff at Odekirk, Allred & Rhodes are here to help during your most stressful legal situations, including criminal cases, divorce, custody, personal injury, and more. Odekirk, Allred & Rhodes will be with you every step of the way with aggressive representation that results in positive outcomes. Call 815-306-4864, visit online at odekirklaw.com, or stop by any one of their locations in Joliet, Manteno, Morris, or Wilmington today.
34-7 is the lead for Wilmington as we start the fourth quarter. They're just going to go ahead and start that clock even before having a snap, I guess.
No, it's that. No, that started. Yeah.
They really mean it when they say running the clock. So up under center once again is Ruben Velasco. He'll hand it off that left side, churning out across the 40. Fumble on the play out to the 48-yard line on the carry.
And off to number 2, John
Was
Manassas. Good for a Blue Devils first down.
I know number 2 is Wyatt Smith, but evidently that's not right.
How many yards did he get?
Gain of about 13 or so. Bring up 1st and 10 for Peotone from their own 48. Again, clock running here. And handoff again off that left side. Down to around the 45-yard line. Be a gain of about 7 more.
Manassas, the ball carrier.
Manassas. Oh, it's Wyatt. Well, I thought it was Wyatt Smith. So Wyatt Smith picks up 7 yards and bring up 2nd down and 3. So Smith with a couple of nice runs.
Yeah, the substitute line here is having a little their hands full.
So 2nd down and 3. Velasco under center will hand it off to the fullback who got met in the backfield by Gavin Gabriel. And a gain of a couple there for Dalton Sala. He'll bring up 3rd down and a yard for Peotone.
3rd down and 3 for the Blue Devils.
They keep shuffling people in.
So 3rd down and a yard from the Wilmington 43. Again out of the double wing here for Peotone. Velasco under center. Will hand it off that left side. Inside the 40 down near the 36-yard line goes Abelardo Cano.
And off to number 18, Abel Cano. Good for a Blue Devils first down.
So that'll be a gain of 7 yards for Cano, number 18.
Got him.
So again, everything packed in here. 9:20 to go in this fourth quarter. Handoff left side to Smith, dragging defenders down inside the 30-yard line to the 29. That's a gain of 7 more yards for Smith.
7-yard gain brings 2nd and
7 to
3.
13 yards of shot is what they're getting right now.
Wilmington, 2nd and 3rd team defense. We'll see if they can step up here and make some stops. .8:45 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Again, double wing here for Peotone. 2nd and 3 from the 29. Velasco going to hand it off left side. Boy, there's a big hole over there. That's Abel Cano down near the 20-yard line.
18, Abel Cano. Good for another Blue Devils
Make
first
that the
down.
21, so a gain of 8 yards and another Peotone first down. So again, out of the double wing here. Handoff left side, Smith trying to cut it back. Gets inside the 20, down near the 16-yard line. A gain
Another
of
carry
6
by
more.
number 2, Wyatt Smith. 6-yard gain.
Boy, Peotone's offensive total is going to go through the roof
Yeah,
before
it
this
is.
game is over.
It's going to look like they really had a big night.
The truth is, the Cats held them to, what was it, 100 yards or less of total offense?
60.
Just before? Was it
The
60?
first half.
And I'd give them half the third quarter, the one possession. But that went
That
pretty
didn't
quick,
have-
too.
Yeah, they
So,
didn't
yeah,
get
it
anything
was
on that one.
been about 60 yards of total offense before everything went to second and third teamers here. 7:18 to go in the game. Velasco under center here is going to hand it off to Smith off the left side, and another big hole. Gets down near the 10-yard line before he's stacked up. That's a gain of 6 more, and
Wyatt Smith,
a
the carrier.
Peotone first
Good
down.
for another Blue Devils first down.
Do you want me to read those winners? Yes. All right.
The clock continues to roll.
Is this for the Skills USA Club?
Down to 6:45 and counting.
On the double wing here, Velasco under center, going to hand it off left side. Smith might get into the end zone here. Down inside the 5, near the 2 before he's run out of bounds.
Carried
And
by number 2, Wyatt Smith.
the second and goal from inside the 2-yard line, I believe.
What would you give him, 3 yards a time?
He got about 8.
8.
He almost scored. Oh, I still have quarter 3 on the board here. That's definitely not right.
No, it's not.
So handoff to Smith up in the middle, and he is in for the touchdown. So Wyatt Smith will make it a 34-13 lead for Wilmington. So this game going to end up being significantly closer than
You know what?
it would have been.
I didn't write down who scored the other touchdown.
It was 4. It was Rodriguez who ran it like 70-yard touchdown run or something immediately.
Yeah, 70-yard.
So extra point upcoming here for Chase Rivera. Wow, that snap was a little wide, but that's a pretty good job back there by Wyatt Smith to wrangle that in. And Wilmington leads it 34-14. They're just going to run the clock during everything here. Let's take one more break. We'll come back with the rest of this game in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's.
34-14 is the lead for Wilmington. Of course, it was 34-0 back in the third quarter when the Cats put on their second team, and Peotone scored 1 touchdown on that group, and then they went to their second and third teamers. And since then, the clock has just been running, so the score a little bit different than what it probably should have been. But
wow, what a
all
run
the way
back.
out to the 40 on the return is Sean James, who just continues to run hard. And the Cats will take over 1st and 10 with 3 minutes to go here in the game. Be sure to stick around for the post-game show, brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Get to that post-game show here in just a few minutes. We'll have a full check of the IHSA football scoreboard, brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. Get to your final totals and talk to the head coach of the Wildcats, Mr. Jeff Rinks, as well. All that and more on the post-game show, brought to you by Warren's Collision Center. Well, the Cats are going to end up either need to use a timeout or just going to take a penalty or something.
I think I'm going to take a penalty.
The clock is already at 0. I don't even think the Peotone sideline cares. They're just telling them to go ahead and run a play. Let's forget it. Run a play, take a knee. Let's get this thing over with. And
they're going to knee it out right here.
So the Cats will take a knee. Wilmington will move to 3-1 on the year, and Peotone will drop to 2-2. And the Cats will be back at home next week to take on Reed Custer in a game that I'm sure the Wildcats are looking forward to. Cats will win it here tonight, 34-14. There's still 1:45 left. Wilmington going to have to snap the ball another time or two here.
The winning tickets for the Mums were ticket 289.
But we'll tell you this, Wilmington,
and also ticket 289,
halfway through the second quarter, it was a 7-0 game. And
it was a slugfest.
All of a sudden, the Cats became unstoppable offensively.
Please claim your prizes at the concession stand.
So the knee here, and I think they're just going to go ahead and say this thing's over and done with, and they do. They're going to run off the last minute of this game, but it will finish up here. Cats win it 34-14 over Peotone. Good win on the road for the Cats. Welcome into the postgame show, brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Big thank you to Warren's for sponsoring each and every postgame show. We'll get to your final stat totals, take a full check of the scoreboard, and talk to Coach Rinks as well. We'll do all of that in just a couple of minutes here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Teresa's Family Styling Salon in Wilmington is an all-ages salon that will style your hair for that special look. They offer cuts, perms, and coloring for any fashion. They also carry Paul Mitchell and Brocato products. Teresa's Family Styling Salon is located in the Southgate Plaza in Wilmington, and you can call for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955. Pro Real Estate is a family-owned business established in 1983. Its staff and sales agents work in all areas of real estate sales, from first-time homebuyers to experienced investors. Located at 506 South Water Street in Wilmington, clients are welcome to stop by to discuss their real estate needs or visit our website at pro-homes.net. For a private consultation, contact us at 815-476-7916. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 40 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com. Or call 815-521-0900. Warren's Collision Center is now at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. They accept all insurance companies, and as always, customer service is their top priority. Contact Warren's Collision at 815-458-3300. Stop by online at warrenscollision.com or visit in person at 860 Easy Street in Braidwood. Warren's Collision Center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair.
And welcome into the postgame show brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair over there in Braidwood. And 815-458-3300. Cats win it tonight 34-14 over Peotone. We'll talk to Coach Raints here in just a moment. We'll also have a full check of the scoreboard and check your stats as well as the Cats win it 34-14. Sets up another matchup with Reed Custer next week at home for Wilmington as the Comets will come to town, and I am certain that Wilmington will be ready for that one. And matter of fact, I think they've been looking forward to that for a little bit here, and we'll see kind of how all of that goes together over the next week or so. And there's some games down the line. You get Reed Custer, then Herscher, Coal City. Will end up being an opponent here in a couple of weeks that's going to be very, very difficult. The Kohlers are proven to be the other top team in the Ice Conference, and we'll set up a showdown here in the next few weeks. But the Cats got some games to do before they get there. Anytime you get those weird rivalry games like Reed Custer and Coal City, you really never know what happens in those things. So even though Reed Custer has been struggling a little bit as of late, I don't know. The rivalry games are weird, and you just kind of never know what's going to happen. As we'll finish up your stat totals here, and we'll give those to you in just a minute. We'll also have a full check of the scoreboard as well. Here comes Coach Raints. We'll go ahead and get to that first before we get to anything else. That'll give you a chance to figure out the rest of those stats anyway. Those things are kind of all over the place toward the end of this one. Joined here on the postgame show brought to you by Warren's Collision Center by the head coach of the Wildcats, Mr. Jeff Raints. And Coach, that was an interesting for a quarter and a half. It was at 7-0, and then you had the touchdown run called back on a penalty, and then the ball kind of went back to Peotone, and your defense made a stand. And then from that point on, boy, the end of the first half was something. You got that score, got the ball back, then scored again before halftime. Of course, got the ball to start the third quarter, and things started to seem like clicking halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, no, I think the beginning of the game, give Peotone credit. First off, as we talked about at Catbackers the other night, Peotone's going through a tough deal right now. One of the former players from last year's team was killed in a wreck, and they honored him tonight. Had a moment of silence for him. A lot of these players played with him last year, and he was also an all-state wrestler, and so a lot of heavy hearts, and our thoughts and prayers are with Peotone. But I tell you what, overall, we're playing good defensively, and then we talked about their quarterback the other night being he threw for almost 300 yards against Sandwich. And I bet there was 3 different times tonight where they had completions, 3 or 4 times. I said, hey, you got great coverage. I go quarterback, put it where he had to, and that extended some of their drives. I was really happy the way we stopped the run tonight. Yes. I thought our D-line and linebackers filled well. And then running the ball, offensively, like I was telling the kids, I thought we played at a high level, then we would come down a little. Mm-hmm. Penalties hurt us, obviously, on Kyle's long run. We had the penalty, but we got it back with a minute left. We were, like you said, we were able to get that touchdown at the end of the first half, and then get the ball there at the beginning of the second half and come out and go. And then about halfway through the third quarter, there they asked for with the clock and stuff, which we honor that sure. With everything going on. And we got everybody time. I mean, I know they had a big play there, but hey, little bit of a different night, but a good night, mm-hmm. And hey, we're 2-0 in the conference. It's always tough to come over here and play. They had a big win last week against Reed Custer, and so for us to get the win tonight, I'm real happy.
What was interesting is once that second quarter started and you got about halfway through that. Boy, the offensive line and your backs just opened up some holes and kind of took control of everything.
I think it really did. I thought Barry made some nice adjustments, too, as we were going. It wasn't quite as fluid as last week, and that's what we were talking to our kids about. Hey, we got to stay at that high level. And but no, he made some adjustments with the line. Our kids figured out what they were doing defensively. And again, hey, give Peotone credit. They gave us a little different look than what they've been showing over the last year, but and then the last couple games. And so, they're 2-2. They're a good football team. And so they did some things defensively we had to adjust to, and we were able to adjust to it. So I was real happy with the kids.
It was this was an interesting night tonight. I mean, it seemed like it was a big crowd here.
Yeah.
Of course, you had the ceremony there honoring the passing of the former student and all that. But, again, coming across to these kind of games, you kind of just never really know. And then you look at Reed Custer next week, and the rivalry games and close games can be different year to year.
No, and we talked to our kids about, coming when you go on the road particularly. You get the hoopla and everything at our place. And, every place is a little different. Well, we come over here to Peotone. And, you got to go on the road, and everybody's telling the kids, boy, you should beat them and this. And there's Peotone, going through a tough gig, and they're going to give a great effort. Yeah. And they did tonight. And, but you got to maintain, like I just said, can we maintain a high level of play? I thought we did. Seneca, I thought we played good, but made a few mistakes. Aurora Christian, I thought we played pretty well. Then you go to Lyle, I thought we played really good last week. And then here we were playing well, and then we stumbled a little bit. Then we played well, and then we just a little bit. Maybe I'm being too coachy. Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little too much on details. But when I talked to the kids afterwards, real quick, we had a team huddle there, and even they were like, it wasn't the best all the time. But also give credit to Peotone, Coach Telly. Those guys did a really good job preparing for us.
It always seems like he has a different game plan that manages to kind of trip some things up for a little bit. Every time it's nothing crazy, but every time there's just a couple of different things that make it difficult.
He does. And Tully's this has got to be 10 years we've gone against each other, and he's got a good program going on here, really good program, and me and him have grown to know each other over the years. And you're exactly right. When you prepare for Coach Tully, it's not just the last two games. You got to look back at the last 2 years at what he's done. And I can remember when he beat us, it was at 2018, maybe, I think it was 18. Mm-hmm. Totally, he found a niche, and he just kept he moved the ball. He was calling plays. He was way ahead of me. You got to try to stay ahead of him because he's always got a plan that's going to make you adjust. And so what's so tough about that is now you see something. Well, we haven't seen this all week. Mm-hmm. And now your kids are moving and shaking. And, are they great with their reads? Probably not because it's a brand new thing. Yeah. So how do your kids adjust to that, I think, is the biggest thing.
It's always like capitalizing on the couple of things that they do well and trying to get people and kids in space to be able to do what they do best, which is something that I appreciate.
Yeah, no, and he does. And he's got a couple really good kids, too, running back-wise. I mean, the one kid had 300 last week, almost 300. And, they're looking forward to their season, just like we are. They got playoff aspirations. They're 2-2. They can make the playoffs. But for all of us in this conference, it's a grind. And so when you come over here and when we play Peotone, I know officially it's not a rival because everybody thinks with us.
Right, but it's kind of
Reed Custer and Coal City. But it is there. Yeah. It is, John. And they play as tight as anybody. And so I always tip my hat to them. And after the game, it's usually always a well-played game on both sides, and we go from there. But I'm happy to get the win tonight.
But now you get one in this Reed Custer matchup that, again, that's one of those games with Reed Custer, Coal City, Wilmington. It always seems like something's going on there or something weird happens or whatever. And I know where Reed Custer is currently, but I also know where those rivalries always seem to end up.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this now. I mean, I know they lost a lot of people from last year, but I was able to watch film on them a little bit, and they're definitely good enough. I can tell you that one. And Reed Custer's going to give us everything we got, and there's no doubt about it that we remember what happened. We had a really tough game over there last year. And then, John, you throw in homecoming. Now, everybody
Oh, my
is
goodness.
a fan of homecoming, of course,
Yep.
except the head football coach. But I want our kids to have a great week. But, the big thing, too, is you're playing your rival. We want to be 3-0 in conference. And, keep this thing moving along. And can you believe we're going to get ready for Game 5
It's
already?
crazy. It's half over.
Mean, are you kidding me? It's half over. You're exactly right.
Well, how did that happen?
And But no, hey, when you get these rival games, this is what it's all about. Our kids will remember these games the most. And so let's have a great week. Now, injury-wise, I think we came out okay.
Good.
And so I'm really happy about that. So another week of everybody mending up. And we're hoping to get Hunter Opasovich back hopefully this week too.
Nice. That'll be good.
Yep.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a win. Anytime you go on the road and get a win, that's a big thing.
Yes.
And then we'll see you back at home for homecoming.
You got it.
And we'll start it again.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for the coverage.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Coach Reentz joining us here on the postgame show, brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair, at 815-458-3300. We'll get to your final stat totals here. First off, for Peotone, listen, I have no idea. There's so many different people in this stat book that
I think I might have told.
I agree with Coach Reentz. He goes, well, Illinois beat Penn State tomorrow? I don't know, but we'll find out, I guess.
I think I might have told those total yards wrong.
Well, whatever. It's going to be close enough. The last quarter and a half is all over the place anyway. Rushing the football, Ruben Velasco, 1 rush for negative 10 yards. Wyatt Smith ended up with 6 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. Chase Rivera, 5 carries for 11 yards. Jaden Rodriguez, 10 rushes for 80 yards and a touchdown. Now, you have to remember the vast majority of this yardage was after the game was essentially over and everybody was out there running clock.
He had 70 yards in one
Yeah,
run.
1 carry. Dalton Sala, 1 carry for 2 yards. Chris Pagliarulo, 1 carry for 1 yard. Abel Cano, 2 carries for 15 yards. And on the night, 27 rushing attempts, 155 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Peotone. The vast majority of that after the running clock and everybody was in the game. Let's see. Ruben Velasco, 4 of 8 for 42 yards. Chris Pagliarulo, 1 reception for 19 yards. Colin Emsweller, 3 receptions for 23 yards tonight. 197 yards of offense for Peotone. For Wilmington rushing the football, Cade McCubbin ended up with 1 carry for negative 1 yard. He was just covering up a fumble, really. Braden Anderson, 2 rushes for 5 yards. Jake Castle ran the ball 8 times for 49 yards. Sean James, 2 carries for 6 yards. Kyle Farrell, 19 rushing attempts for 232 yards and 5 touchdowns. Brendan Moran, 5 touchdowns, is that right? I guess it is. Brendan Moran, 22 yards on 1 rush. Joe Van Dyne, 2 carries for 12 yards. Wilmington, 25 rushing attempts. Or is that 35? Might be 35. I don't know. Quite frankly, 325 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's really the key. 325 and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, Cade McCubbin, 1 of 1 for 36 yards. That pass caught by Jake Castle. Wilmington, 361 yards of total offense tonight. Really effectively about 350 to 60 in total yardage until the last couple of drives in Peotone when the clock was running. But Cats with 361 yards of total offense. Huge night for Kyle Farrell. 5 touchdowns and 232 yards rushing.
Did anybody score a touchdown except him?
That's crazy. I don't think so. I think it's it.
He's only one.
All right, one more thing on the schedule. Full check of the IHSA football scoreboard brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. Big thank you to them. Reed Custer leads Herscher. They finally started stretching out a little bit, 36-20 in the 4th quarter there. So the Comets will be at 2-2 when they come across to Wilmington for homecoming. Coal City 41-7 winners tonight over Lyle. Mantino leads Streeter 19-18 in the 3rd quarter. Boy, that's a tight game between Mantino and Streeter. Final tonight, Byron, the number 1 team in 3A, had a little bit of trouble with North Boone. They only won 69-0. And by the way, North Boone was 2-1, so take that what you will. Montini, number 2 team, trailing to Bennett, but that's a tough opponent, 10-0 in the 3rd. Stanford Olympia, 27-20 over Williamsville in the 4th. Williamsville is the 3rd ranked team in 3A. Stanford Olympia is the 4th ranked team. Number 5, Princeton defeated Orion 42-0 tonight. Tolono Unity, the number 7 team, 35-14 up on Decatur St. Teresa in the 3rd quarter. And number 8, Duran Pecatonica, 55-0 over West Carroll in the 3rd quarter. And Roxana, number 10 team, in 3A, 37-0 lead over Columbia. Other finals tonight, Joliet West 17-10 over Plainfield North. It was Sycamore 48, Ottawa nothing. Hershey 67-0 over Vernon Hills. I think that's the only finals. I'm going to pick and choose some scores here from around the area. Let's see. Aurora Christian 6-0 over St. Edward Central Catholic. That game was back in the first quarter. Last time we got an update there. Bolingbrook 14-7 over Homewood Flossmoor in the second. Lincoln Way East leads Bradley Bourbonnais 17-3. That game in the second quarter. Oswego 48-0 over Joliet Central in the third. It's Joliet West 17, Plainfield North. That game 10. That game in the fourth quarter. Joliet Catholic leads Niles Notre Dame 14-13. That game in the third quarter. Lincoln Way West 21. Lincoln Way Central nothing. That game at the half. Kankakee no problems with Riverside Brookfield tonight 35-0 in the second quarter. And Morris, a 14-0 lead on Woodstock North. At the half, IC Catholic tied with Nazareth at 14. Plano leads LaSalle Peru 12-10. That game in the fourth quarter. St. Rita trails Mount Carmel 24-7 at the half. And let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. Neuqua Valley 17-7 over Naperville North in the fourth quarter. Oswego East 41-0 over Plainfield South in the fourth. Yorkville leads Plainfield Central 14-0 in the second. And West Aurora 14-0 over Plainfield East. So again, in the ice, Reed Custer 36-20 over Herscher in the fourth. Coal City beats Lyle 41-7. Mantino 19-18 over Streeter. That game in the third. That was our last check of the IHSA football scoreboard, brought to you by Odekirk, Allred, and Rhodes. Big thank you to them. That will also wrap up our postgame show, brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair, at 815-458-3300. Wilmington wins it 34-14 over Peotone. That score sounds a lot closer than it actually was, but the Cats get a win here tonight and sets up a homecoming matchup with Reed Custer next week. And you heard Coach Reen say, we kind of remembered what happened last year, so let's see how things go this year. And we'll see. You never know. Whenever it's Reed Custer, Coal City, Wilmington, you never know. And it's homecoming, and homecoming's also weird. So we'll see what happens next week. But the Cats win it 34-14 over Peotone. Big thank you to everyone here at Peotone for being a great host. We'll see you next week at Wilmington, 6